international affairs editor, Philip Turle, is joining me here on set. Philip, first of all, let's go back a bit, if you like. Bring us up to date and up to date with the background, I suppose, to these clashes.
Well, all of this boils down to a message that was posted by a cleric on X, in which he is reported to make blasphemous comments about the Prophet Muhammad. The cleric in question, whose name is Marwan Kiwan, said he didn't do that, but that was not enough to stop these clashes from taking place over the past few days. And it shows the volatility of the situation in Syria as a result of the fall of the former President Bashar al-Assad. That was back on the 8th of December. This is the quote from Marwan Kiwan saying he did not say that the Prophet Muhammad was anything bad, and that whoever did is evil and wants to incite strife between components of the Syrian people, which is what the authorities are trying their hardest to avoid from happening because of the weak position they are in since the fall of Bashar al-Assad. And also, I think a lot of reticence about the real aims of the interim president of the country, Ahmed al-Sharaa. So there are two problems that the government of Syria has right now. The first one is that it is face to face with this very tense situation between these different ethnic minorities in the country. It doesn't have the cash or the military backup to be able to deal with that in a very strong manner to keep all these people under control. And the second point is that tensions are very high in the country right now, because there was an earlier attack just last month in an Alawite region, the Alawites, which were the religious group of the former President Bashar al-Assad, which left 1,700 people dead. And that was also a huge blow to the government trying to rein in everybody and to bring in a government of national unity, including all the different ethnic groups in Syria.
Who are the Druze then, and how much of a percentage of the population do they actually represent?
Well, they don't present or represent much of the overall population in Syria. They only have 3% of the total population. That's about 700,000 people in Syria. But they're far fewer than the Syrian Arabs, Sunni Muslims, who are 75%, 10% Christians, 10% Alawites. Then there are several smaller groups which make up the remaining 3 or 4% of the Syrian population. What they do have is that they don't identify as Muslim. They don't respect the 7 pillars of Islam, for example, and they have experienced persecution by Muslim regimes elsewhere. They have a governorate in the south of Syria, which is close to the capital Damascus, and there are discussions taking place right now with the interim administration about more autonomy for this governorate, and that is also very slow because there's a lot of, I think, suspicion about the aims, as I was saying, about the interim president. He was a leader of the HTS Islamic group, which had links to al-Qaeda, and I think there's worry on the part of the Druze that he's not being completely truthful about what he's intending to do with the country, and there's a lot of suspicion about him.
As I mentioned at the top, Israel now getting involved in this as well, Philip. What's their interest?
Well, they're more or less on the same line as the Druze. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, has said that he will not allow any Druze to be attacked in Syria. There are about 143 Israeli Druze living the other side of the border. But Israel has another mission, I think, in all of this. Israel is worried about the threat that Syria could pose to Israel in the future if it were to go down the more extremist line, viewed the fact that there are links to HTS linked to al-Qaeda. It's been banned by the United Nations, the United States, the United Kingdom, and by the European Union. They see it as a terrorist group. So what Israel has been doing since the fall of Bashar al-Assad is launching bombing raids inside of Syria to knock out military supplies and the military potential so that it doesn't, in their view, fall into the wrong hands and could then pose a threat to Israel later on. I think they're also keen to get in there and do this while there is a lot of uncertainty in the country about how things are going to evolve in the coming months. They feel they have a strong hand to play, and that's why they're going in there right now to support the Druze community. The Druze say they didn't ask for Israel to come in and help them, and the Syrian government has basically said this is a country coming in and interfering in the internal matters of a neighbour, which is something they could not do. And that's also what Turkey has been saying, Turkey, which supports the government in Syria, saying that what Israel is doing could even make things worse in the long run by causing more stress between the different ethnic groups within Syria. So not a very easy time right now for the interim government there.
Philip, thanks very much. Philip Turle, International Affairs Editor here on France 24.